Today I'm going to be teaching you how to make a wasp nest cake. This is a very simple cake, very easy to make, and even if you screw it up, it's good. Now here's our ingredients. We have 2 cups of milk. We have vanilla cook and serve pudding. We have a yellow cake mix, whichever brand you like. We have butterscotch morsels. You'll need a small saucepan, which I have sprayed with a no-stick coating. You need a large bowl for mixing. I've already got my cake mix in here. And then a 13 by 9 pan, which I have lined with aluminum foil in this and have sprayed with no stick. And of course you'll need some beaters for that. Now let's start making a cake. This will mix it in with the milk. Once you get it in there, turn the burner on to high. And then just start cooking. Never stop moving. When you're cooking pudding, if you don't keep it off the bottom, mixed up and moving, it will burn. And it will probably burn a small portion of it directly over the burner lines anyway, but not enough to really hurt anything. But just keep moving. The key to the wasp nest cake is in the cooking of the pudding. You do not want to fully cook the pudding. You want to cook it until it just starts to thicken. Right now, where we've just turned the heat on, it's very thin, very watery. Once it starts to thicken, we will stop, and then we will add it to our cake mix. Okay, now it's getting close to the point where I want to stop. I can feel on the bottom it's getting a thin slick layer where the bottom layer is thickening right against the metal, but the rest of it's not quite got hot enough. This is very much like Goldilocks. It'll either be too thick, too thin, or just right. Now it's starting to thicken just a little bit. Let it get a little bit more. You'll see it'll actually rise up in the pan just a little bit as it starts to thicken. And it's still a little watery. I believe that's just about right. I've already turned my heat off. And that's just about right. It's still fairly thin, but just a little thickness to it. And then I'll add this to the yellow cake mix. Take the spoon and just mix it up a little bit to get the dry mixed in. If I take the blender to it right now, it'll have a tendency to kick up some of the dry powder and make a mess, and you won't quite get it all in there. I'm going to use the lowest speed. Start mixing it up, rotating the bowl, just work your way around. And that right there is enough mixing. You can see there's still some little lumps in it. Doesn't matter. Not with this cake. That is plenty good enough right there. Then I'll simply pour it into the pan. And as a side note, you can do this with any cake. It makes a very moist cake, and you don't have to add eggs or oil or anything. Just cook up that pudding, add it to it, and it will come out wonderful. I take my spoon, just spread it out evenly throughout the pan. Just kind of even it up a little bit. Sort of bouncing the spoon around, and that'll level it all up. Now, I usually use about a half a bag of the morsels, and what you'll do is just spread them around. You don't want to completely cover it thickly. You'll lose the effect. And as I said, you really can't screw this cake up. No matter what happens, it will be good. If you made the batch too thick, then the morsels will sit on top. If you made it too thin, they will sink to the bottom. Either way, they will be delicious. Now, I already have my oven heated to 350. Place it in there, and I'm going to set the timer for about 18 minutes. And then we'll see what happens. Okay, our time is up. I'm going to check the cake. Just take a toothpick, stick down in. Stick it in places where there are no morsels. As long as it comes out clean in several areas, it's good. Just like that. Bring this out. And here we have our wasp nest cake. You can see how it gets its name, and this is delicious. And even if you screwed it up and you have a crust of morsels on top, or if they sunk down to the bottom and you have a bottom crust, it still tastes great, easy to make. People will wonder how you did it, and you don't have to tell them, or you can just point them here. Enjoy.